on Angular material, bootstraps for API calling, API integration. And I
Yeah.
have a little bit work on the backend side as well. So I have some basic knowledge about Node.js, Express.js, and some basic knowledge about MongoDB and MySQL database as well.
Okay. So, so you are much familiar and much comfortable with front-end technologies such as HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Angular.
And yeah.
Okay. So how would you rate yourself in in JavaScript in a 5 to 0 rating? 5 will be the highest.
4.5.
Great. And in Angular?
Angular up to 5. So I can give, yes, same 4.5.
Good. Okay. So let's start the discussion on the JavaScript first. Okay.
Okay.
So I will first ask you a few basic questions. So
Okay.
main difference. What is the difference between JavaScript and TypeScript?
So JavaScript, yes, we know JavaScript, which is used to create dynamic web pages. By using a TypeScript, but JavaScript does not tightly couple to their variables. So the main difference between the TypeScript and JavaScript is the TypeScript is tightly coupled to their variables. Suppose at a time of declaration, we can strictly type to their variables. Suppose I have to create any string type of variable, so I can directly create a variable name with their data type as well. So this is the main difference, JavaScript and TypeScript. That is.
Apart from that, any other difference?
Um, no, that's all.
Have you used interfaces in
Oh yes,
TypeScript?
yes, we
Why
can
they
use
are used?
interfaces. So interfaces are used to declare the types of variables, or we can say it's a we can declare the yes, we can declare the types of variables in interfaces. Yeah.
Have you written any interface
Yes,
in your project?
yeah.
You have written. Okay.
Yeah.
What is the difference between let and where?
So late and where. So the first thing which is about where and late. So where is the um, older. It's the older types of variable declaration, and late and const which are introduced in ECMAScript 6. So the main difference which is where have a functional scope, or we can say it's as a global scope, whereas a late have a only block of scope. Suppose we declare a variable with where keyword, it is totally accessible within their functions. But if we declare variable with the late keyword, then it's have access about their block of scope. So the second difference is where have a we can say it's a hoisted, but late keyword does not hoisted. Suppose we just return console.log a, and in the next line we just write where a. So in that case we got undefined. But if we declare console.log a, and next line we suppose declare the late a, so in that case we got the error. So this is the
Yeah.
second major difference.
Yeah. Okay. And what are the const used for? Const. There is another
Yes,
type.
yeah. So const are majorly used to declare the variable constant. Suppose I have to use any variable which has a constant value. So in that case, we use const variable to declare this variable value as a constant.
Okay. Can you share your screen?
Sure. Yes, I have shared my screen. Is it visible?
Yeah, it is visible. I have pinged you one code snippet. So may I know will that execute in the console if you run, or will not? It will not, or it will give any error, or what will be the uh, case in this scenario?
Yes, yes. It will execute. And if we print in a line number 3 console.log foo, then it will print 1233.
So I have declared foo with const.
Yes,
You told me we cannot change it, so I'm changing it.
yeah. Because as I said, const variable are used to declare the value constant. But in our case, we declare array, so it's a non-primitive data type. So what happened when we declare non-primitive data types like array or object with the const keyword, then also it's we can say changeable. So if we declare array or object with the const keyword, then also we can change their value. But if we declare constant variable with the primitive data type, so it's not changeable, it's immutable.
Okay, in the second code snippet, will it work or not?
No, it's not work because we if we declare uh, any what we can say non-primitive data type, we can update the value, but we cannot reinitialize the new value. We cannot initialize another value to it. So in your first case, just discuss on the first case, you have used a foo variable and
Mm-hmm.
declare the array, and on the next line you have update those values. Like means if you have added some uh, added three values in your array, or you can remove it. But in your second example, you have reinitialize or reassign the new array to your constant variable. So is it not
Okay.
possible?
So that's good. May I know what are closures in JavaScript?
Closures are the group of functions with their lexical scope. In closures, we can access parent function or outer function properties in an inner function,
Mhm.
even if function outer function execution completed.
Okay. Okay. Can you open any online editor?
Sure. Can I use online JavaScript editor?
Whatever you are comfortable with, open that.
Okay, no issue. Yes.
Can you give me one example of closure here, like you have used in any of
Uh,
your work in last
okay.
4 years?
Okay.
Or you can just
So
code me a counter which can uh, increment once I call that function. A simple counter with using the
okay.
closure.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Function call name it as the outer, and I declare one variable which a equal to 10. I will write the function inner function. I will first a plus the firstly I will return. So if we so yes just a minute, I will just give one. So this is the
Okay, so
example. It's a small example
yeah,
of our closure.
yeah. So
So
please do not run the code again. Now, if you change the point line number 3 with let, you told me
okay,
the block scope and that scope. So if you
yeah.
change that, will that function will going to work properly or not?
Okay. Uh,
Like the line
yes.
number 10 from 10, 11, 12, 14, will your program will work as it is or it will not if you change the where
No.
with let?
It yes, it works because as I said, it has a uh, suppose we declare any variable, so we can access it within their next inner loop or inner function. So in this case, suppose we declare where to late, then also it's working for me in this example.
Okay, right. So let's move to the Angular now.
Okay.
So tell me why Angular is being used. Like there are
Uh,
many other frameworks. What are the advantages in Angular?
okay. So the best things, the majorly developers use Angular for their project implementation. So the first thing which is routing. So Angular use by using Angular we can create the single page web application. So it's a very major thing. The second thing which is about our two-way data binding and two-way data flow. The second, third thing which is about Angular CLI as well. So by using Angular CLI, we can easily create services, directives, components. So this is which is easy to write the easy to write codes, and
Mhm.
it is used to
So have
for
you used
developers.
Have you used RxJS also in your projects?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you open any editor where you can code for Angular application and call this API and render the data in the form of table? I'm just putting the URL. Give me a second. So use this API, make a call to this API. It will return some users list, display their name property and their age.
I have just stuff over here. So I want HTTP client from, but it's not suggested to me.
So if it will not suggest you, you won't be able to put them. The package which you should be using, you must know, and these are the basic one.
Yes, yes.
It will be from Angular/common/HTTP.
Yeah.
In line number 3, I think you have the so the constructor should be. I think there is some error. You should check first. Okay, we are running out of time. I need to ask you a few more questions. Let's
I have
suppose.
just, yes, I
Yeah,
have,
let it be. Yeah, you can tell me what is the approach you have taken. Then we can proceed to another question
okay.
quickly.
So yes, I have to just show the name and what you say, what you ask. Let me check. Yeah. So actually, I haven't idea what data will come in my from API. So please, can you let me know what the data will come from this API?
No, no, I'm not asking about this API. I'm just asking you what you have done in the code. If you can tell me, that's okay. Otherwise, I will ask you next question.
Okay, okay. So for fetching APIs, we use HTTP client. So
Hmm?
from HTTP clients, there is one get method for getting data from API. So in this get method, it will return the observable. So on my component app.component.html file, I have called these services and by using dependency injection and
If
calling
I
this
do not have to, if I do not have to use it like this way without subscribe method, is there any way I can access it?
yes, yes, yes. By
How?
using async pipe, you can use it.
And
Uh,
if I want to have the authentication token to be transferred in that API call, how would I do it
okay.
in Angular?
So Yeah. So in this case, we use interceptor. So by using interceptor, we firstly check this is the proper this is the authentic authorized user or not. So there are two interceptor. The first one is the error interceptor and auth interceptor. So yes, by using this, we can firstly
Have you
authorize.
implemented any author? Have you ever implemented any authentication like
Yes,
this way
yes,
with the interceptor?
yes.
So what you need to create for that? You need to create
So
any directive or any component, any class or any service. What you need to create for that?
So I have created that time one interceptor. So in this interceptor, I have used one method. Actually, I forget the name of. So, but in this case, I have just passed the tokens for sending a request
In
to
that
backend.
method, what are the argument it takes and what is the output it gives?
Uh, it takes the request dot. Actually, forget exactly the name of arguments and that thing. But yes,
In your
in this
last project, if it is an admin kind of project, there must be this kind of functionality you might have implemented or how
yes,
you have achieved that.
yes, yes. In this my last project, I have used interceptor and use JWT tokens for the
So if you have used that, you are unable to call out right now.
uh, actually authentication. These things I have used in mm, 4 5 months before, so might be little bit things I forget. But yes, I know what the actually
Have you
concept
used Git?
have.
Have you used Git?
Git, yes,
Have you used cherry pick in Git?
cherry pick. No, I haven't used cherry pick.
What are the commands you have used in Git?
So Git, I have basically used some uh, push, pull, commit, then status. Uh, that's type
If
of
you want
command.
to create a new branch out of your main branch or master branch, how you
Okay.
will create it?
Actually, basically, sometimes I use Git uh, desktop Git. Sorry,
And
what
if
is
you want to clone a project from open source,
yes,
how would
yes.
you clone it using CLI in Git?
Git clone and URL of this project
Then if you want to create a branch, how would you proceed?
branch.
Have you ever
So
worked
actually,
on branches and putting that in the master, or you directly putting the code into the master?
no, actually, I have used multiple branches, but I have used directly on by using the Visual Studio Code. So by using Visual Studio Code, we can directly create the branch from the master branch or main branch. So in that way, I have used. And then the next one,
Okay,
which is
tell me the difference between the reactive and the template driven form. The
okay,
main reason why we use reactive form, where we cannot why we not used template driven form, not the so there will be, I know you will be answering, the template driven has the more template code. Apart from that, what reasons,
okay.
like any
So
challenge which we have in template driven form we can achieve with reactive form,
okay.
apart from this one?
So So the main difference, which is yes, you said the template driven form has a more template, and in a reactive form, the more data and more functionality we are implemented in our TypeScript file. So the
Apart from that,
major
I'm
difference,
asking.
yes, yes. So the major difference is we use a reactive form rather than template driven form is. So template driven form is a little bit complex for the testing, whereas reactive form it's easy for the
Okay,
testing.
so
The
let me
next
ask you
thing
scenario.
is
Let me ask you scenario. If you want a user to log in, like I want to sign up with a username. In
yes,
the username field, once you put the value, it should be validated from the server side. Will you be able to achieve that with template driven form?
yes. So this thing I'm actually telling कि reactive form it's have a best validation controls as compared to
No,
template
in
driven
this
form.
scenario, in this scenario which I told you, will you be able to achieve it with template driven form? You need to verify if, for example, I am registering with SAIF, which is already
Okay.
been registered with any other user. So
Okay.
making two users with the same username does not make sense. You need to check in the backend, in the database. If it is already existing, you should give an error to user that this cannot be created, something else. So how you can achieve that? Will you be able to
So
achieve that using template driven form?
yes, yes, we can actually for showing the error message, or we can say for the swell alert, this kind of things. Yes, if we validating the validation from backend side, yes, we can able to use in a template driven form as well. But which validation we are controlling, we which validating we from the front end side, which is not possible by using template driven form, uh, password types of validation, email types of validation, any names constant types of validation. So it is easy to write in by using template driven form rather than the reactive form rather than the template driven form. This type of validation is not possible to validate from template driven form.
This type of validation, like checking from the server and then providing the error, is not possible in template driven form.
No, it's possible. I'm asking which validation we are checking at a server side or from backend side, which is possible to use with the template driven form.
So
Suppose
it's not
as you
possible
said,
in reactive form.
no, it's possible with both reactive as well as template driven form. But I'm taking telling
So
the
what is a
drawback
good
of
approach to take? What is a good approach to take? Template driven or reactive form in this case, in this kind of scenario?
reactive form.
Why?
Reactive form.
Why?
Uh, because in a reactive form we have a good, as I said, we have a good uh, uh, error handling mechanism. So by using this, we can easily
Okay, this
uh,
scenario which I told you, what kind of validation it is? What is the name in Angular? There is specific name for this kind of validation.
uh, for which validation?
Like checking the information from server, then providing the error based on the response from the server. Okay, no
Its
problem.
name is,
Okay, no problem. Have you have used MongoDB, right?
yes.
Okay. So can we like can we join multiple collections in MongoDB?
Sorry, your
Like we
voice is
have
breaking.
can as we have tables in SQL, we can join them. Can we
Yes,
join them in MongoDB as well? Like they are called collections in MongoDB. Can we
yes,
join them?
yes.
What is the syntax?
Uh,
No issues. So which one is better to use? MongoDB, like NoSQL or SQL?
it's actually nowadays most people are using NoSQL databases. It depends on uh,
Okay, last
functionalities.
question. That's okay. Last question. If you want to uh, share data between two components and they are not parent, oh sorry, they are not in hierarchy, parent or child relationship,
Mhm.
how you can share the data?
Okay. So by using services, also we can share data from one component to another component by using subjects. So the second thing, by using the routing. Suppose I want to navigate from this component to another component, by using the routing URL also I can pass this data and get into the next component. So yes, there are two approaches to share data among the components.
Okay. And if I want to, okay, let me tell. Okay, so in CSS, have you worked upon, right?
Yes.
So in CSS, what are the property you use to center element inside a div?
Okay. So align item center. This is the property to get element center.
Okay. And in Angular, if have you heard about the encapsulation, view encapsulation in Angular?
Yes.
What it is?
So view encapsulation, it's the feature of Angular, which is used to define. We have to share and how we can apply styles for the component. Suppose by default view encapsulation is emulated. So in this case, we does not get data and does not. We just share the data. Sorry, not data. It's a styling. So by using view encapsulation, we can I can say we can understand I have to share the styles to another components or not. So there are three properties. The first one is emulated, none, and shadow DOM. So in emulated, it's a default property. The next one is a none. So if we use view encapsulation none, then it does not get any styling from any components and does not share this component style to anywhere. If we use shadow DOM, then
Yeah.
it will create the new DOM and use their styles inside this DOM. So there are the three properties of this view encapsulation.
Can you open the second tab in your browser? The second tab, Angular Service Injection. No, no, this one. Yeah. Go to the service file here.
Yes.
So the @ injectable, you can see
Yes.
what it is.
It is a decorator.
So why it is written?
So by using injectable, it's inject the properties. Decorators are used to add external modification and functionalities without
So
changing the original source
do,
code.
do you
So
okay? So do you see any issue in this injectable? Like not issue. If you want to use this service in the whole application, what is the property you should be providing?
yes, so I have to use provide in root.
How, like, can you write it down here?
Um,
Okay, let it be. I'm running out of time. I need to jump to another meeting. Uh,
okay.
is there any question you want to ask, or we should
Yes.
tell me?
So what type of projects you are currently working on, and
Actually,
suppose I get
it's yeah. So exactly that will be decided by the other teams. So it's not specifically for a particular team this hiring is going on. So you will get to know if someone gets hired for this position. Apart from this, any question if you want?
no, that's it.
All right. Thank you, Yogesh. Thank you. Thank you for
Thank you.
joining.
Okay, thank you.
Bye.